If Japan is known for one thing, it's making the craziest stories. I swear, in the past year alone, I've been brought to tears by the cinematic masterpieces called What If I Had 4 Girlfriends? And What If I Had 5 Girlfriends? And What If I Had 6 Girlfriends? And What If I was a vending machine? The Shin Megami Tensei series is just like this, just with a little less household appliances. A spin-off of the Persona series, Shin Megami Tensei, or SMT, has no proper English name. The closest I could find online is The Reincarnation of a True Goddess, which places this game firmly in the category of Japanese games with names that make no sense. Personally, I'd put it right next to the math equation that is Kingdom Hearts 358 divided by 2. The game opens with a panning shot of our protagonist in all his 460p glory before going straight into an exposition dump. People are mysteriously disappearing. Invisible figures are terrorizing the night. Brutal remains are being found everywhere. Like any responsible parent with their toddler, our teacher makes up for his trauma dumping by giving us an iPad. We use it to write our name. I always have trouble with picking a name. In this instance, I was stuck between Almighty Destroyer, Gay Sex, and John. Sex is banned, Destroyer is too long, and John didn't have a last name, so I went with my go-to, Uwuo. Class ends and the teacher tells us to walk home in a group. After listening awkwardly to 3 people and being rejected by this absolute mannequin, I decided to walk home alone. If you haven't noticed already, I have to point out the obvious. Look at those empty daydreaming eyes. That hair flick, that smooth skin, the way he has no friends. No, this is no mere case of not having any bitches. My man is trying to become the bitches. That's right, this young man dreams of becoming a femboy. And this isn't like last time where the information came to me in a prophetic dream. There's proof of this later in the game that's even more substantial than his owning a Hello Kitty plushie or his having the most extreme political opinions you've ever heard. We get jumped by some people who I think are going to be important. Maybe it's the fact that they have faces or floating names, but that last thing could just be a thing that Japanese people have. As we bumble around through the map as a Monopoly figure, we eventually meet my favorite character, Ichiro Dazai. You can tell he's important because I still remember his name. This is coming from the guy who still forgets his girlfriend's name sometimes. Hey, what's up? Bitch? The tunnel collapses with the 3 of us in it, separating us in the process. As the dust settles, we very slowly get up, only to find that Ichiro has been jumped by an angel. They talk about how lucky it was that he got found by them rather than one of the many demons from hell that wander around this area murdering humans. I can only imagine how the silent protagonist felt in that moment, not being able to yell. But then I remembered he could just throw like a rock or something and I feel less bad. A big mystery of the early game is what and where this place is. But if you've been paying any attention, you should be able to guess. It's clearly an abandoned city, but why the sand? There's only one group dumb enough to build a city in a desert. Americans. And like 60% of Africa and all of the Middle East, but that's not really their fault, so just stick with me. Angel. Angels. Angeles? The City of Angels? Los Angeles? This wasteland is a POV of how Fox News sees LA after the BLM protests. But that's just a theory.
I've actually never
a
looked
game
at
theory.
porn.
We walk around a bit before getting jumped by some demons. Then a Valorant ad. I haven't figured out how to record from the Switch yet, so I'll be doing my best to find appropriate clips online with minimal watermarks. To make a short story shorter, we're about to die when a robot jumps down from the sky and asks us to take his hand. That simple action fuses us together, creating a Nahobino, or a demon-human hybrid. Told you he was closeted. Using our newfound power and femininity, we take out the demon horde. And God is so impressed that he challenges us to a fight, only to never show up again. The majority of this next section is just tutorial anyway, so I'm just gonna skip. Wait, that's interesting. We start off on a long and epic journey to reunite with our friend, and never mind, I found him. The real story is incredibly complex, because a lot of important events happened in the past, and half the scenes are probably heretical in most parts of the world anyway, so I'll just do my best to summarize it. Basically, before humanity, all spirits existed as equal beings. Shiva, Zeus, this thing, all of them were equals. It's just like that one anime where Jesus and Buddha were roommates, but with less homoeroticism and more violence. What is heavily implied to be the Christian god eventually conquered the rest of the spirits, sealing away their knowledge within an apple. Satan, one of the spirits, would then trick humanity into eating this apple of godly knowledge and condemning them in the process. Anyone familiar with religion would recognize this story as a direct parallel to the Bible, which makes you question how much of that lore applies to the game. Did God send a bear to maul 42 kids to death after they made fun of a bald guy? We'll never know. Either way, God is dead now. 20 years ago, Satan led an army to kill God and actually succeeded. I mean, I think we all knew that transition from 2D to 3D Pokemon games was godless, but Jesus Christ. The war to kill God actually destroyed the world, but before he died, God whisked away the few remaining humans and put them in a fake Tokyo. The destroyed wasteland we've been exploring is the real world. Trouble is, the head angel has been gaslight gatekeep girl-bossing her way into convincing everyone that God isn't dead, and Satan just doesn't care enough to correct her, leading to a really confusing situation where no one quite knows what's happening.
All that remains is for me to sow the seeds that shall sprout into this grand reality.
The faction of demons aligned with Satan are just kind of running wild, killing people for fun while they wait for news on that whole apocalypse thing. Some demons are politically neutral, meaning they just kind of sit around and wait for Satan or God to come back, and they kill people for fun. Bethel is racist. Bethel is the coalition of the 4 main deities and all their underlings, all under the banner of God, in opposition to Satan. Most of the story, you work under them, desperately trying to hold back the demon hordes, but you never really get the full picture until midway through. At one point, this girl tells Tao not to come to school tomorrow, but she doesn't understand the gravity of the situation because, this is Japan. And then Tentacle Vor happens. After taking out a snake, a sperm, and a manifestation of fire who is, by the way, supposed to be one of the strongest demons in the lore of the game. Other demons can't even get close to them without literally being disintegrated into ash. And yet, since he only uses basic fire and physical attacks, you can just make yourself invincible and slowly beat him to death. I would do that now, but we don't really have the time. Nahobino. Crush his balls. Eventually, the other branches of Bethel start to hear of my exploits and question how I'm even alive. Zeus says that I'm basically walking proof that God is dead, and Abdiel says nuh-uh, before deciding that she would smite my ass to prove that God is real. Unfortunately for her, she can only target the Nahobino with physical and light attacks, which means that you can just make yourself invincible and slowly beat her to death. I would do that now, but we don't have the time. Nahobino, crush her balls. The 5 heads of each faction then split in a race to find the human with their knowledge so that they can become the god of the new world. Funnily enough, even though there's 5, you only need to fight 2. Zeus and Odin. Odin never got to find his human before he was defeated, whereas Zeus's other half died in a car crash off-screen, which is really funny because of course the human half that represented Zeus would do that. Shiva never actually showed up to the power meeting, so when we go to check on his ass, we find his snake friend. He says they don't really care about which spirit becomes god because Shiva is planning to destroy the world anyway, so we slowly beat him to death. I would do that now, but we don't have the time. Nahobino? Oh holy shit, oh holy fuck, oh my god. My personal favorite story is that of Khonsu, the Egyptian representative. His human is actually Yuzuro's little sister, Miyazu. But after talking to Khonsu, he tells us that he decided against becoming a Nahobino because he thought she was out of his league. Trouble is, she's dying of cancer, and although Khonsu had been giving her his life essence to extend her life, that means they can't fuse to save her. Instead, Khonsu pulls an Indiana Jones, stealing an ancient relic, punching a bird, and screw it, something happens with aliens, I think. In his true form, Khonsu tries to make Miyazu a spirit herself so that she wouldn't die. But it's revealed that since they're linked together, one of them will have to die anyway. Khonsu asks us to kill him so that Miyazu could live on, but we have a choice here. We could choose to kill him or spare him outright, but the best option by far is to listen to Miyazu's wishes. Which I always do, of course, because I'm a feminist, and I listen to women. Editor, if you don't put my phone number on the screen right now. It turns out the reason she refused to fuse with him in the first place is because she didn't want to live forever. She had seen enough in her long, healthy 16 years of life and was ready to move on. That's sweet. You know what else is sweet? This. Sometime off screen, Ichiro found Andrew Tate and awakened his inner snoozer male, and I am all here for it. This random change is why I love him. He and Abdiel represent order. Siding with them means restoring the throne on behalf of God. Note, God is still dead. Yuzuru and this guy represent chaos. Basically, they want everything to go back to before demons were split in two. I don't know how Yuzuru thinks humans could survive in a world of warring gods, so I can only assume he wakes up every day screaming and crying into the mirror. I hate humans, I hate humans, I hate humans. There's also Nua and Sword Guy. I didn't really mention them, they show up periodically to fight us in T-pose. They want to destroy the throne to create a world for humanity. Basically, this guy wakes up every day screaming, I hate demons, I hate demons, I hate demons. These endings are all alright, but the true ending comes if you beat every optional boss and finish all the major side quests. Doing this and then siding with Nua makes her reveal that her true plan was actually to use the power of the throne to create a world without demons. If you go down this route, Satan drags their soul to hell faster than an elderly woman who forgot to comment amen on a Christian TikTok. He reveals that his true plan was actually the same as your own, to rid the world of demons. But the existence of humanity naturally gives rise to demons. To overcome this, Satan consumes the knowledge of God and fights the player to the death to prove we are worthy of inheriting the earth. I want to say this was hard, but after beating Shiva, the wrath of God was literally nothing. This grants us the true ending. It's a bittersweet one, where the world is free from demonic influence, but our spirit remains as a permanent safeguard to smite whatever emerges from the void. Oh wait, it looks like something is coming out of that void right now. Is that? That's my review of Persona 4. If you like this video, I'm sure you're gonna like that one. So make sure to click it now, and bye.